Hello.
How about tube?
So we're here to, I'm going to do an announcement. I'm doing this video with Becky because I didn't want to do another one by myself because I don't like doing videos by myself. So Becky's here for moral support and to help me stack books because I got a crap load of books to show. I'm showing my plans for reading in 2022. And one of my plans is to read a lot of big books. So kind of like Noah did with his channel. But mine are possibilities with a lot of them being set in stone. I've got about half of these are set in stone for me to read for the year. Now, if you would like to buddy read any of these with me, just let me know. I've got a couple of buddy reads that I'm going to be doing. I did not bring my tablet in here like I meant to, but I will explain. I will say one of the books that I'm going to be reading. And I'll tell you now, it's Napoleon, A Life. I cannot remember the author's name. But it's going to be with Alan Braswell. We're going to read that in March? April. I think it's April that we're going to be reading that.
Closer.
Yeah, there we go. And
there we go.
Well, and I think I left one of the other books. Nope, I didn't. I brought it. It's right here. And it's a fiction book, but it is an account of history anyway. And I'll show you that, I guess, at the very end. No, you know what? I won't. I'll show the fiction first. I'll show the fiction first. The one I am most excited about and the one I would love to get some buddy reads going with is The Count of Monte Cristo by Dumas. This has been on my TBR for years. I've never read this. Becky has read it. Becky loves it. But yeah, The Count of Monte Cristo. This is the Penguin Classics version, and it weighs in at... let's see, after all the notes and stuff in the back at 1,275 pages. So if anybody wants to do a buddy read of this, tell me when you can do it, and then I'll set it up for, I'll try to set it up for around that time. I can't do it before April. That's going to be the earliest I'll be able to do that. But that is a massive book, and it's the biggest one on my TBR, I would say. And it's the one I'm most... No, it may not be the biggest one on my TBR. I'll tell you here in a minute. It's the one I'm most excited to read.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, I know. Becky loves The Count of Monte Cristo. So I'm looking forward to it. Another one, and I did put a poll up on our channel, what, a week ago?
Yeah,
10 days ago, something like that? Somewhere around there. And it was, I'm going to be doing some focus videos on an author this year. You know, after I read their books, and I want to tell you what I think about them, and I'm going to look up the author and tell you, you know, and look up what the author was thinking and things like that. And it was Dostoevsky is who won the poll pretty easily. Actually, he got about 40% out of 5 authors.
Yeah.
And here are the ones that I plan to read from him. Number 1. The Idiot, probably not the first one I'm going to read from him, but I'm definitely reading it. It's The Idiot. This is the Wordsworth Classics edition, and it's already got a bend in the cover, and I haven't even read it yet. It came like this. It was the envelope was bent when we got it. But, yeah, not new from Amazon, let me tell you. But I mean, these are $5 or $6, something like that. And I like these black covers like this. They look really cool on the shelf. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I look forward to reading that one. Then I've got The Brothers Karamazov by Dostoevsky. This one is not as big. It's just under 800 pages. But I like this copy. I've had this for a while. I like this, so I'm going to be getting into this too. And another one of my most exciting reads of the year. I'm really looking forward to this. Yeah, like I said, I'm starting with the fiction, and we're going to end with nonfiction, which is a little bit bigger pile.
I've never read the Brothers Karamazov.
Karamazov?
Yeah, I know how it's pronounced. I was trying to be funny.
Gotcha.
It didn't work.
I've got Crime and Punishment, the Michael Katz translation. This is the newest translation of Crime and Punishment. Again, this is Dostoevsky. I'm reading 3 of his big works this year, and I may get into a little bit of his a few of his short stories as well, or shorter works. The Devils I'll probably read next year. The Gambler I'll probably read next year. But I do to tell you the truth, this is who I was hoping would win, either him or Virginia Woolf. I wanted to do either one of those two. I would have been very happy with. So yeah, another great cover. Yeah, Becky's stacking them for me. The next Russian author I'm wanting to get into is Tolstoy. And again, if you want to buddy read any of these, please let me know. Resurrection by Leo Tolstoy. I hear great things about this book. Again, a Wordsworth classic. I think I bought this with The Idiot, and this one came in perfect. It was in the side of the envelope. That one was stuck in the middle. So yeah. It's Tolstoy's third major masterpiece. It says After War and Peace and Anna Karenina. Yeah, so I will be reading that this year too. That is a definite. This is also a definite. War and Peace. This is the one that might beat the Count of Monte Cristo and page count. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll let you know in a second. But I love this copy. This is a Vintage Classics copy. I actually won this copy from summer at Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. And I would like to start this in either April or May. So if anybody is willing to do that with me, that would be very, very cool. We could get a buddy read going. If we could get, half a dozen of us, that'd be even better. Get all of us talking about it and all of us accountable to make sure that we read our pages for the day and stuff like that and get this read. Let me see how many pages this has. It's almost exactly the same as the Count of Monte Cristo. Actually, it may be exactly the same. Well, if I can get this stupid thing open. It's got these French flaps, which I love, but they can get in the way every now and then. Nope, it's 1,273 pages. So it's 2 pages less than the Count of Monte Cristo.
That's close.
Yeah, very close. But this is a larger book. I still think word count. I think word count that wins. Over the Count of Monte Cristo. Not 100% sure. Another one, a new author to me, just like with those books there. George Eliot, Middlemarch. I haven't talked about this yet, have I?
No.
Okay.
Not in this video anyway.
Yeah, this is the Barnes & Noble Classics Edition. It's it's unabridged and everything, so not worried about that. This is her largest book, I do believe, but it's where I'm starting. It's the one everybody says is the best.
Jumping face first into the deep end.
Yeah, I am. But I'm excited to get going with George Eliot. This is only the first of quite a few of her books that I would like to read. This is going to be a different year for me. I am reading lighter fiction in between some of these other things. But I like lighter fare. But this year, I just feel like I want to get into something heavier. I had a health scare this last year, in this last month and a half, and it kind of made me realize that there are things I would like to do, especially with my literature, that I haven't done. And so I'm definitely gonna hit it a little harder this year. Big books or something that I want to do, and this is definitely a big one. Let me tell you how many. This is 810 pages.
It's a chunk.
It's a chunk, but it's not as big as those last two.
That's true.
Now this is one that I had discussed with Mr. Scott Danielson the other day, and please look past the sticker on the cover. This is a book that I love the movie. This is a book that I've been wanting to read again for like 12 years, 15 years, something like that. And this is one of my aunts. This was her favorite book. It's Lonesome Dove, Larry McMurtry. I've never read this. I actually hear the sequels and the prequels are not all that great, but that this is just absolutely wonderful. Yeah, please look past the sticker. And I think I'm doing a buddy read with Scott Danielson on this.
Okay.
So that's going to be awesome because Scott is really cool to buddy read with.
He loves his cowboy romances.
Yeah. This is another one of those cowboy romances. It's just a lot bigger. See how many pages
Lots
this
of
thing
cowboys
has.
in there.
858 pages. So, it is less than 1,000. Hey,
I'll take it.
it's two 429-page books. Not bad. You know?
Bad at all.
You know what's funny? I can read a 429-page book in 2 days sometimes. And then it'll take me 2 weeks to read something like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes word usage
Yeah.
on the part of the author is extremely important. Some prose will be a lot more dense
Okay.
than others.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
Well,
like,
I guess the density of the prose, although I don't think that is going to be all that dense.
well, think about it. Reading a book by George Eliot is automatically going to be a lot more difficult than reading a book by Stephen King.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, depends on what you mean by more difficult.
Literary wise,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
one you don't have to slog through
Yeah.
every single character in a town in
Yeah.
the first 300 pages before the story starts.
Yeah.
She might actually start the story at the beginning.
Maybe. I don't know.
She
I
might shake
I
things
have
up.
heard
You
a
never
lot
know.
of I have heard of a lot of people putting the book down because they say it is a difficult read. George Eliot and Virginia Woolf, people say are difficult, but
You plowed through Little Women.
well, yeah, well, Little Women was simple.
Didn't come across well.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, you didn't have any trouble with Little Women. You didn't have any trouble with the language.
No,
With
but it's going to be a little denser than that.
and you were just fine with Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, but again, the way it's written is going to be a little different. It's going to be written a little more of a literary style.
The language will be similar though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I think a lot of people put those books down because they have trouble with the language.
yeah.
It was a different time, different way of speaking.
Yeah, or it doesn't catch them at the very beginning.
Mm.
This one I showed the other day. This is coming sometime this year as well, and probably my third or fourth most excited about reading is this one right here, Three Musketeers. It is the Lawrence Ellsworth translation. And I believe this is the newest translation of the Three Musketeers as well. The newest English translation. So I'm excited about this. This looks so cool. This is a great book. I got this book for less than the paperback cost on Amazon. Oh,
You're covering the star of the show, man.
Hey, buddy. Hi. Did you come to see us? Hi. Thank you. Thank you. But this is this is going to be so good, and I cannot wait to read this big old thing. It's not Count of Monte Cristo long. It's not War and Peace long, but it's still pretty long at 789 pages. So, again, another chunky book that I'm really looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. And that's another one of those dense reads. It's going to be kind of difficult to read because it's it's translated.
Well, yeah, but it's translated by Lawrence Ellsworth, and this was just translated a few years ago.
Okay.
So it should be easier than say the one that was translated in Victorian times.
Okay.
Yep. Now for the last fiction book that I have here, I believe this is the last fiction work. I am buddy reading this with Bill Rutenberg. We just discussed this the other day. And this looks so good, and it is another huge book. So I'll be doing a whole lot of reading over the next little while. 1,123 pages, so this is the third longest. It's Freedom by William Safire.
You'll have finished next year having read 50,000 pages.
But this sounds amazing. It is about the first 2 years of the Civil War. Let me look that up again. I thought it said on the cover, but it doesn't. Into the reality and drama of the American Civil War, the most critical period in the life of our nation, based on the real people who struggled and bled for what Southerners hailed as independence, Northerners condemned as disunion. William Safire's novel explores the first 2 years of this war, years that posed the question that reverberates today: how much freedom must be denied each American to protect and extend the freedom of all? So this is a fictionalized account of a very important time in American history. And this starts the history section of this video. The history books that I want to read this year, and hopefully I can get to every one of them. If I can't, I at least want to get to 2/3 of them. You know,
There's a lot of them.
there are a lot of them. Most of them are not very big, but there are a few that are pretty good size, like this one. I mean, yeah, huge, 1,100 pages. But again, I'm excited about it, and I'm gonna get to them all. After that, I'll get to some semi-historical works. Although I know this one right here, a lot of people say is really not that historical. That it is mostly fiction, but that it's so well written that it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's The Histories by Herodotus. I've meant to read this for the last 2 years and haven't gotten to it, but I am about to. So, really excited. And I'm sure somebody out there would like to buddy read this. There are a lot of people with this on their TBR, and they haven't gotten to it. And it's
great
really,
if you all get to it together.
Yeah, and it's really not that, yeah, it would. It's really not that big. It's 716 pages, and a lot of that is actually the index and the notes and things like that. So it's just over 600 pages of text that has to be read.
How many appendices does this thing have?
It's got a few.
Notes to book 8, 9.
Index. Yeah.
Glossary.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. There's more notes. Chronology.
Yeah.
Book 9. There we go. That's the end of book 9. Let's see. It's like 200 pages of appendices and glossaries.
Yeah.
I mean that literally.
And I mean, some of that will need to be studied, but you don't have to study all that. You don't
the
have to
book
read
ends
all
at
that.
603, so it's 100 pages.
Yeah.
Of
100 plus.
extras.
Yep. Next is Greek Lives by Plutarch. Now, I know this Oxford World Classics version of it is, great cover, is kind of taken out of context and taken out of order, as is the next one, which is Roman Lives. But I don't know, I may read these right after I read the histories. Plutarch was a Greek historian, and these are going to be awesome. I cannot wait to get to these, because from what I hear, he is like one of the best writing historians ever. So, yep, look forward to those. And we're going to continue.
It reminds me of Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Yeah. What does?
Plutarch.
Why does that remind you of?
Because like throughout the entire book, Millie is reading Plutarch to the girls, talking about the rape of the Sabine women.
Oh, okay.
At least that's what Plutarch says. Oh, yes, then.
Now, I think the only World War II book I have on here, maybe. I just bought this at Ollie's tonight, and I got this for $4. It was Swan Song.
It's pretty,
1945. It is a collective. Yeah, it is. It is a collective diary of the last days of the Third Reich, by Walter Kempowski. This is actually diary entries by a lot of prisoners and officers and military officers and things like that during the last days of World War II.
So it's sort of epistolary.
Yeah, it is. This is going to be amazing, I think. I've read some reviews of this that have been very, very favorable. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going to be very good.
This is a nice book.
Yep. And now we start the Civil War books, and there's a lot more of those than any of the others. I'll start with this one. It is, I don't know if I'll start reading this one first, but I think I will, actually. The American Heritage Short History of the Civil War by no one other than Bruce Catton, of course, because I got a lot of his books I'm reading this year. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'll be getting to all these because of the future history project I'm going to be taking part into, but I want to get to all of them. I really do. I want to get to all of them, and if I can get buddy reads for some of these, then that'll help me. That'll help me get through them.
You're going to have to take a break in the month of March, probably.
Yep, month of March for March Mystery Madness, and the month of November and February. Well, I'm not taking a break from reading it totally in any of those.
Sort of low-key read one in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah. But I need somebody to help me with some of these. help me buddy read them. We got Bruce Catton here. Roy Blunt Jr., Robert E. Lee, A Life. This is a really short book, this will take me all of a day to read probably. So I like books like this too that give a lot of information in a short amount of time and a short amount of pages. Now, while I'm not a big fan of Robert E. Lee, I am a big fan of learning. So this one here, we've got Embattled Rebel. Jefferson Davis as Commander-in-Chief. I will learn about this guy too, even though I know I will not be a fan of his even after I read this. But look at this print. I'll get through this in a hurry.
You can see it from space.
Yeah, it's large print. It's a large print book. And again, probably in my top 5 books I'm most excited to read, Team of Rivals. It is the political genius of Abraham Lincoln. This brilliant multiple biography is centered on Lincoln's mastery of men and how it shaped the most significant presidency in the nation's history. Looks so good, and I cannot wait to read this. I believe the movie Lincoln was based on this book, which I really enjoyed that movie Lincoln. Very good. I don't know if I'll get to this one, but I would like to. It's small. I may as well. U.S. Grant and the American Military Tradition by edited by Oscar Handlin, and it's Bruce Catton.
I gotta tell you, man, this looks just awful.
What do you mean?
I can't imagine myself sitting and reading it. There's no aliens or cowboys. What would I do? There's no pictures.
It was the 1860s. There's cowboys in there somewhere. Somebody was from Texas and worked on a ranch before they got in the military.
Well, there's the question. If they're in the military and they're not working on a ranch, are they still a cowboy?
Former cowboy. But they might still, wear the boots and stuff in their spare time. They might.
It's possible.
Yeah. U.S. Grant by Gene Edward Smith. Again, I cannot wait to read this. This looks amazing. This looks really, really good. And this is a pretty good sized biography of U.S. Grant, over 770 pages. 780 pages, I think, exactly.
Man, my back is killing me.
So that says 2 books about Grant. Yeah, this is coming soon. Narrative, maybe next month. Narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, and incidents in the life of a slave girl. If I'm going to read one, I may as well read the other.
No, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, this book, it looks like crap. It's in bad shape. I'm hoping that they make this right, because this was supposed to be a very good copy of a book.
Hey, show them the front page.
Oh, yeah. It came like this. Yeah. Hate that. Bruce Catton, This Hallowed Ground, recommended by Steve Donoghue in one of his starter kits, Civil War starter kits. So, yep. Looking for a buddy reader for this one. This is one that I want to read with somebody else. We got... I probably won't get to all 3 of these, but I'd like to get to at least one. It is Bruce Catton's Civil War trilogy. Mr. Lincoln's Army, Glory Road, and A Stillness at Appomattox. So, yeah, I've heard great things about A Stillness at Appomattox. I've heard it's like one of the best Civil War books. So, yeah.
I like the word Appomattox.
Yeah. Sometimes I look at that and I can't get my head around pronouncing it.
I wanted to call it Appomattox.
Yeah.
I want that O to have the accent, desperately.
Shiloh, 1862 by Winston Groom. This is one I definitely want to get in. I don't know a lot about the Battle of Shiloh, so yeah. Look forward to reading that.
One could say I know nothing about the Battle of Shiloh. I had never heard of Shiloh until I wrote down that word. Not at all. Had no clue.
Right.
I still have no clue. You're going to have to clue me in.
I will. I'll clue you in. I'll read you bits and pieces.
Okay.
The next 2 books are about the Revolutionary War, about the American Revolution. Very popular books about the American Revolution, especially that one. That one, I think, has a movie to it. But Bunker Hill, A City, A Siege, A Revolution by Nathaniel Philbrick. I love the way this guy writes. I've sat down and read a few pages of a different book of his, and man, he can write. So excited about that one. I got one more book here. I think that's all, right?
I think so.
And it's probably the most popular book out of all these history books that I'm going to be reading. Yeah, easily. But it's 1776 by David McCullough. I have never read this. Or McCullough, as they would say in across the pond in England. But yeah, this book I've had on my TBR forever, and I'm about to start reading it. I want to get it read before the end of this year, actually. But yeah, 1776. I'm pretty excited about reading this. I've also got a book on my tablet called 1775 that I want to read. I may actually read it before this. Probably not, though. This is the more popular book. But that's it. And if anybody would like to buddy read any of these books with me, I can make sure that I get them read this year. I want to read, I mean, I've probably got, 30 books that I just showed? Between 25 and 30?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Those
12,
don't count.
13. I know, just the ones you have right on the table are 13.
Okay.
Let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21.
Excuse my
That's
hair.
a big one. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
28 books. So.
Didn't even break 30. What are you doing?
Yeah, but how many
Not
pages
trying
did I
much.
break? How many pages? Is that,
We're not going into that.
that's a whole lot of pages. But this is the year of big books for me. This is the year of history for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year of the older literary books that I have been missing and have just put aside, and I'm not going to do it anymore.
What about your Isaac Asimov? You're not going to do them?
Well, yeah, that's part of the future history project that I talked about earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing
Gotcha.
those.
So that's just those two right there is 30.
Yeah.
And you're reading The Hobbit, but that's this year, so that
Yeah,
doesn't count.
I'm finishing up The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I'll have it done probably tomorrow or the next day. But The Hobbit is one of my favorites. It's the most charming book I've probably ever read, or the most charming fantasy book I've ever read. Yeah, that's a library book.
Oh.
Those got to go back to the library.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
But I'd already I forgot that I had ordered 1776. Got this from eBay for little to nothing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I need you to take those back to the library tomorrow, if you would.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glad we remembered.
Yeah. But that's it. And if you, like I said, you want to do any buddy reads, or if you've read any of these and enjoy them, or if you read any of these and didn't enjoy them, let me know.
He needs incentive.
Yeah. Well, I guess I mean, it's not really incentive. It's more I just need the support to get through them. I need somebody who we can bounce things off of.
Oh, see, when I do buddy reads, I need somebody to kick me in the butt and say read.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Somebody needs to make me read, darn it.
But yeah, I'm very excited about reading these, and as you can tell, the Civil War and the American War for Independence are the ones that I'm most excited about and most interested in reading first. Part of this is because I have friends on BookTube who they're definitely into this, and I love their passion for it. Bill Rutenberg, Steve Donoghue, Peg, The History Show. So yeah, let's get together and do some of these, and if not, let's at least talk about them when I'm finished reading them. And I will talk to you soon, BookTube.
Your books are calling. Go read.